So today I am just going to blank bail or shoot up close or aim and do all three of them. Recently, over this past year, my target panic, or whatever you want to call it, has gotten worse than it ever has been. And ironically, I've done better than I have ever before this last year in terms of tournament placings and stuff like that, but it just keeps getting worse and worse, keeps increasing, you know. It's just that little bit of anticipation, and I'm just kind of fed up with it because I know I can get way better if I just deal with it, and it's only because I'm lazy that I don't deal with it, so I'm going to deal with it. I don't have the sight set up to hit at this close a distance. Normally, that's what you want to do. If you're doing this kind of a drill, just get your confidence up, because you see your dot aiming in the middle, you execute a smooth shot, and then you see it land dead center. And then you just slowly work back. We'll shoot the shot with control no matter what. And do this right. Here I go. Keep moving, keep moving. I follow the whole shot IQ system. I bought that from, the website, and I think the way that it works is definitely the most logical and makes the most sense, is that we all just try to brace for the impact, which doesn't make much sense when you first hear it. It's like, well, what impact are you bracing for exactly? But the amount of tension that you're under in archery just magnifies it way more than if you were shooting a gun or whatever, which personally I don't have an issue with. If I'm shooting a gun, I can just think like, oh, well, I'm only focusing on the trigger and like the dot's moving pretty still. The thing with archery is like as you go to execute the shot, you might induce more movement, which makes, just from the execution of the release or whatever, which makes you induce even more movement, makes you more tense, which induces more movement, and it's just kind of a bad snowball effect. And you have to be able to combat that, and I would recommend getting the shot IQ thing. I think it's a really good, way to think about it, but the main thing is that you have to draw your conscious mind from being worried about the aiming, and trying to avoid getting it tense by focusing on the actual release, which isn't, I'm not giving any secrets out from the video or anything like that. He's done some podcasts with stuff. He talks about it, but after I'm done aiming, just focus on the release. You just keep moving. So like I said, I have been pretty lazy about focusing on this. This is something I've known has been an issue for a long time, but it's one of those things where you just like always think like, I just need to shoot more to get better. And it's like, you want to avoid it as much as possible to try to do this stuff. It's just so boring, and then also you just feel like, well, how can I get better? But in reality, it's funny because, like even just doing the drills to fix target panic is like almost like having target panic itself. Like you're just avoiding even accepting that you should do it when you obviously should do it. Even if you don't have target panic, it would just make you better to just be able to confidently be just 100% smooth and just know that. I'm going to shoot these at the blank bail. So this video is definitely going to be a little bit boring compared to my last one, which wasn't even very good, but just getting started. No really new products to review right now, at least that I have my hands on. Even there I had some anticipation, which is weird, but might need to make the release even longer, make the movement even more exaggerated to be able to get into it and stick with it more. Ideally, with this channel, I'd like to eventually do podcasts with pros and stuff like that, or just podcasts with whoever in the archery industry. And just make really cool and fun target archery content, especially at like tournaments and stuff, like, challenges and stuff, like, maybe sort of like the Cam podcast or Cam Media's shot of the week, but more of a competitive kind of thing. Like, I don't know, but a lot of different things would be cool. If you have any ideas, go ahead and leave it in the comments of what you want to see. These next few I'm just going to aim. The main reason is just because my particular target panic or whatever, I think has a lot to do with worrying about the dot moving off of the spot, and I just freeze up with the release. So something like this up close is a little bit better because it's hard for it to move out of the spot, but I think I still need to do where I'm just aiming at it and not shooting, just to reinforce like, hey, it's not actually moving as much as you feel like it is, or, you don't have to shoot it even if it is, like, Another thing, this kind of stuff, especially aiming drills, teaches you is it gives you a lot more strength, and it kind of exposes your weaknesses. Something I've always had an issue with is like, as I'm trying to go through the shot, your bow arm gets a little bit weaker, especially the shoulder, and you almost start to, or I start to almost lean back as almost to bring that front arm back up. Obviously that doesn't really end well. It just ends up making even more movement, because as I do this to bring it up, I start coming off the wall and losing tension. And it's just kind of a train wreck. That wasn't the best shot. But yeah, anyways, if there's anything you want to see or have any ideas, go ahead and leave them in the comments if you want to. If there's anybody that you think we can get on the podcast, like, very easily, even though don't really have a lot of subscribers, let me know about that too. Not really sure what I'm going to make my next video. I have a couple ideas, but yeah, ultimately the podcast would be cool. The actual tournament videos would be cool, where it's actually like an interactive thing with a pro or something. Some sort of challenges and stuff like that, with random people and stuff. Also product comparisons, like when I was starting out and I didn't know which light kit to buy, which maybe sounds like a random thing, but that would have been something I would have liked to know, like see one video breaking down exactly what the differences are between each of them and why one would be better than another and stuff like that. Because you could just go around to each individual video, they kind of blow smoke, obviously they're trying to sell their product, so stuff like that, which is kind of why I'm in the ideal position. I'm not signed by any brands. I don't necessarily want to be signed by any brands unless they're going to pay me a lot of money, and I think that's going to be a long ways away. I'm going to have to get over my target panic first before that happens. So anyways, catch you in the next one.